Not many people went to the movies this weekend, but those who did probably saw Dev Patel in one film or another.
I don't want to die, I want to live.
Taking the #1 spot at the box office, though not in very impressive fashion, is sci-fi thriller Chappie, bringing in an estimated $13 million. Director Neil Blomkamp's feature debut, District 9, managed to break even in its opening weekend, while also boasting a 90% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Blomkamp's latest work did precisely the opposite.
Neil Blomkamp is a guy you rely on for great effects and some social commentary. We got some of one, we got some of other, but we got a really bad story.
Director Neil Blomkamp may be genuinely interested in artificial intelligence, but he doesn't engage with it as much as desultorily kick it around.
So, while Chappie is charming and the film's concept is novel, the story itself doesn't deliver. But in an age where every other movie is a reboot, sequel, or based on a novel, it's nice to see Blomkamp still putting original ideas on screen. Even though his next film will be, you guessed it, a reboot. Ah well, next.
You've been in this game for a really long time.
Focus takes the #2 spot this weekend, bringing in an estimated $10 million in its second weekend out. And unfortunately for Will and the gang, it looks like the modern-day caper won't be bringing in any major box office numbers domestically. While bad weather nationwide was partly to blame for last week's shaky performance at the box office, Focus had a significant drop-off in week 2. Thankfully for Warner Brothers, Focus wasn't an expensive movie to make, meaning it's only about $15 million away from breaking even at the domestic box office. And foreign box office is doing even better with a grand total of $37 million after 1 week. And lastly, a new movie about old people.
Lordy Lord, have mercy on my ovaries.
Easy there, Grandma. The second best exotic Marigold Hotel rounds out 3rd place this week, bringing in an estimated $8.6 million. And aside from Dev Patel, it doesn't star anyone under 60 years old. Critically, this was the highlight of the weekend, but not by much. It has a 64% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie franchise very clearly targets a certain audience, but as a writer for the Wall Street Journal puts it, quote, the original film appealed so strongly to its target audience that a sequel was inevitable. Inevitable and unnecessary, according to some.
This is the kind of sequel that you point to when to talk about why sequels are terrible.
This is Grown Ups too.
But it does seem to have the box office magic. The Fox film brought in $8.6 million despite only opening in 1,500 theaters, whereas films like Chappie and Focus opened in more than 3,000 theaters nationwide. As for next week, he's back. For Newsy, I'm Jamal Andrus.